Hi, my name is Anna and I really like to spend my time on Pinterest. I've seen many times these small embroideries or beadworks using seed beads, and I really was wondering how to make them. I got very inspired by these artists, and I decided to make my own small little tutorial for you guys. So we can start? For this project I'm using a small piece of felt, which is pink, but you can use any color, and also sometimes you can find felt which is more thicker. I would suggest doing that. I didn't have this, so I used this more thin version. You can fix your thread however you want. I'm using this small knot, which I usually do, and then I'm using the different kinds of beads I found. They have different shapes and textures, and I think it's very suitable for this kind of project. I decided to make a brooch, so that's why I'm using a circle, and it would be in the circlish shape. In Pinterest they usually make like a small painting out of that. I decided to make something wearable. And let's talk about the technique itself. It's actually pretty easy. You just use beads which you want to use for your little flower or for your little element. You go through all of them using a needle, and you go back also through all of them except the last bead. So the last bead would be a closing one, and it will hold the whole piece together. And then you go back through your fabric.
And the other technique you can use is just put different kind of small beads and then make a little hoop, so you don't go through all of them and they're not standing, but they make a small semicircle on the surface of the fabric.
To make it more visual and simpler, I made a small animation for you. So you go through all of them, then you have one on the top which you go through only once, and then you go back through all of the other beads again. And if you don't have any ideas of how to make new shapes, I made these pictures for you so you can use them as inspiration or use them as schemes which you can actually make on your design. The rule for them is very simple. You go with the needle through all of them except the last one, which is on the top. This is it. This is very simple, and it just takes some patience and time. Sometimes you can see me also using the butterfly shape beads. You can use something similar. It can be star shape, and it actually can match your theme of the little brooch. It can be something more sea oriented, or it can be flowerish as mine. It is really limited only by your creativity, so I encourage you to make some new designs and to explore different themes. I think it's a very fun project to make, and it's very beautiful as well. Now you can enjoy a bit of my process, and then we will go to the next part, which is making the brooch itself. I actually ended up doing 2 brushes because I really liked the process and how it went for me, and I really liked to be creative and make different kind of shapes. So this is the result I've got. I really like how it looks from the different perspective. I just cut it out with my scissors, and then we will sew it to the other piece of the felt. Before doing that, I'm making the edges look more pretty and just sewing everything together, but I'm not being a perfectionist here because the other piece of felt will close this, so you just need to be sure that you did everything safe and that it won't break, but don't be really hard on yourself and don't push the perfectionism part here. I bought these little pins from AliExpress, but I think you can get them at art and craft store or whatever. And I'm just sewing them to the other piece of felt so I can have my brush. Because it's a bit heavy, it has a lot of beads, I'm using 2 pins. So if your brush is big or your piece is big, then maybe you need to use 2 or 3 pins. And then I made this back part with pins. I'm sewing everything together so everything looks good. And then I'm also going one more time on the borders to make them look prettier and nicer. Ta-da! Our brush is done. I hope you enjoyed the video and everything was clear and interesting for you to watch. Obviously, you can use this technique for many different projects, not only for making something wearable. It can be a picture for the wall, you can use it probably as a cover for your art book. Actually, you can use it anywhere. Thank you for your attention and for watching, and bye bye!